seconds into the flight. The rumble's just starting to reach us here. And launch control. We are feeling the rumble. We are seeing 30 and that's delivery raptor engines ignited on the super heavy
booster engine, avionics power, left nominal.
33 raptor engines. Continuing to get good call out. Trajectory looking nominal. System looking nominal. Just amazing to see all three lit up once again. Through the maximum aerodynamic pressure. The vehicle's going to see it when it actually do that accent to handle the pressure separation.
Through the period of as the velocity increases, the density of the atmosphere is decreasing. Yes, the stress on the vehicle is call out. Never slow down.
Stuff coming up, it's going to be hot staging. See the engines ignite and shift to push it away from the booster.
Continuing to watch the first stage as we go down range.
Just about 90 seconds to do that. We're going to shut down all of the mid-center Raptor engines to get super heavy.
100 seconds into flight. Our next major activity is going to be shutdown of the first stage.
We're seeing the boosters engines start to shut down. Sea levels right after that. Sea level 3 Slade is kind of pointed out what we're going to do. Most engines cut off. The most engines cut off because 3 are going to keep going. And then we're going to see the engines on ship ignite.
If all goes well, those 6 engines will burn for almost 6.5 minutes.
Will push Starship
Onboard
off of
view
the
from
booster. Now the tower team is doing their go-no-go.
Engine power continues to on the second stage as we prepare for stage separation on the first stage. After stage separation, first stage will flow with
Alright, see the booster engines start to shut down. You'll see all the 3 lights. You can still see it right behind me. That is one of the most gorgeous things I've ever seen in my entire life. Coming up on hot staging next. Start to ship into space. Booster will start to shut down.
Stage separation.
Eventual splashdown in the Gulf of Mexico. Stage separation. Hot stage separation confirmed. Ship under its own power. I'm seeing 6 out of 6 Raptors lit. Hopefully even a booster on the way back to me. I'm going to send it to you guys at home now, making its way back.
That was absolutely incredible. I loved how the crowd changed. Karen Hawthorne all went at the first view of the blue flames from the booster. As you can see there, first stage currently performing, or to me, is now making its way back to the launch site. We are the booster and the tower are both performing automated checks to make sure we go for the boosters to return to the launch pad for that catch. And once those are complete, the flight director
we did hear that the tower is go for catch, so that was one of the big criteria we were looking for. We'll wait to hear that the go for catch has been set.
Beautiful view here from the ship.
And so exciting to hear that we got a go for booster catch. That means it's going to be a really exciting morning. Again, the booster is making its way back towards now land in order to make that catch attempt in the tower.
Right-hand side of your screen, that is Starship, or we also refer to that
so incredible to see these views. You can see the ship on the right-hand side of your screen. All 6 Raptor engines are under full power. Once again, the booster is making its way back to the launch site yard and trying to catch it as chopsticks on the launch tower, the exact same tower that it just launched from just 5 minutes ago.
Starship on nominal trajectory.
Stage separation, which again, Starship gorgeous, right through it, as well as
that is incredible.
They're telling us that the path that Starship
pretty much right overhead of us, so we can see it starting to come down.
Is still firing its engines, and as you
I can't wait for us to hear the sonic boom through Dan's mic. That is going to be incredible. It was so cool to hear the liftoff.
And so once again,
the successful non-time liftoff of Starship Flight 5. Has separated from the booster. The booster is there on your screen. It is making its way back to the launch site. We are going to attempt the catch using the chopsticks. We did hear the confirmation that the commands were sent to the tower. We are go for catch.
Hey guys, we should just be about 30 seconds away from landing.
Very excited about it.
It's going to happen in 3 phases. We're going to land at 13 engines per round. We can see it coming down through the plume.
Just about 30 seconds away from that landing burn.
Excuse me, the landing burn.
Hot for booster catch.
13 of those Raptor engines, and this view is incredible right now. You can see how fast this vehicle is moving on the left-hand side.
We're now down to 3 Raptor engines. We can see those chopsticks now.
Megadilla has popped the booster.
First ever attempt, we have successfully caught the Super Heavy booster back at the launch tower.
Kidding me?
6 minutes total.
I don't know about you, but we're losing our stuff up here.
I'm sorry, like, even at this day and age, we just said that looked like magic.
On flight 2.
We are still going wild over here over this.
Folks, this is a day for the engineering history
We
books.
demonstrated the hot staging. Kate, as you said, cruised through that. We demonstrated
This is a live view of
entry
the Super Heavy booster as it has just been successfully caught back at the very same launch tower that it just came from. Dan, I love this. You are reflecting exactly what everybody else here in Concord, except maybe a little bit more because you got to see it with your own eyes.
How was that?
We got it. But it was like, I can't even describe that. About your own ship, being able to have ships in orbit, but I am like shaking right now. That was
there by the call out and the crowd behind us. This is not, I mean, it's
checking that ship.
It's hard to believe that
Starship nominal orbit insertion.
all right, exciting news there. It's hard to believe that, booster isn't the only excitement that we have today. Just confirmation there. Gorgeous view of planet Earth behind the ship. And it is now in the orbit that we expected it to. This is just an incredible day. Live news there as the booster vents some pressures there. That is a live view from the top of the tower looking at the chopsticks.
I am still in disbelief. I'm trying to catch my tears just like the chopsticks top the booster. It has been nonstop since liftoff. And we are also excited about everything that's been happening so far this morning. With the booster having completed its job for today, we are going to take a short break for the next 30 minutes. We'll return back at T plus 40 minutes while the ship continues to coast before re-entry.
Oh man, and as with previous flights, Starlink may actually enable us to talk with the ship through re-entry with no communication blackout. We of course are still testing Starlink during this phase of flight, so nothing is certain.
booster.
But if we do have views, we'll be sure to bring those to you live.
Figure out exactly what happened.
Views or no views, we'll see you back here at T plus 40 minutes for coverage of Starship's re-entry, flip maneuver, landing burn, and splashdown.
A bunch of, as we said, ambitious objectives ahead of us over the next couple of minutes, pretty much over the next hour, where we're going to really, we've got the ship in space, we're now going to take advantage of this and try and learn as much as possible about some of the other systems, including that first ever Raptor reload in space, so it's just going to be incredible. So all of that still to come. The mission just started, but wow, what a liftoff, what a hot stage, what an amazing sight to see Starship there in outer space.
I can't believe we're seeing it in space. This is awesome.
Wonderful.
Now, we are going to be coasting for the next about 30 minutes or so. We'll be back around the T plus 40 minute mark. And that'll be Starship continuing to coast, hit those ambitious test objectives, and then continue on to re-entry. We're not totally sure what video that we'll get, since that normally comes to us as we overfly ground stations, and we don't have a ton of those along our trajectory. But as we have video, we'll be sure to bring that to you.
Starlink may be able to bring us additional communication paths today that will allow us to talk to Starship through re-entry with no communications blackout period. It's a possibility, but either way, we will be live for all of today's milestones.
That was some incredible views that we have never seen before. It has been
like the ones that we have now, which I just cannot get over.
And with the booster having completed its job for the day, we're going to take a short break for about the next 28 minutes, and we'll return while we're going to take a break while the ship is continuing to coast
First
test. One of our test objectives today is to open and close that PES door. That's where we will deploy Starlink satellites from in the future. So great news there that test objective blackout. We are still testing Starlink during this phase of flight, underway. Of course, nothing come back here. Stick around until T plus 40 minutes for coverage of Starship's orbit burn, views such as the one followed by a re-entry, and of course, sure to be an exciting splashdown. We will try to bring those two live.
Exactly. Views or no views, we'll see you back here at T plus 40 minutes for coverage of Starship's re-entry, flip maneuver, landing burn, and splashdown.
Expected loss of signal, Key West. Expected loss signal, Cape Canaveral. Expected loss of signal, Cape Canaveral. Accuracy signal, Puerto Rico. PES trigger. Expected loss of signal, Puerto Rico. Expected loss signal, Puerto Rico. Computer is in propellant transfer demo.
Acquisition of signal. Acquisition of signal. Hard to be stuck. Starship is flying to entry attitude.
Welcome back to live coverage of our third Starship flight test, which lifted off from Starbase, Texas at 8:25 a.m. Central Time. Our main objective today was to get through all of our ascent burns and collect as much data as possible, including a potential Starship entry. And we just came out of a coast phase and were treated to a number of HD views thanks to Starlink, including the PEZ door open-close test. So that was one of our test objectives today that we met. So that's awesome. It has been such a great day.
It has been a phenomenal test day. Just to see booster lifting a Starship to ascent, ship completing its ascent. Just a wonderful day. Kind of to recap the objectives a little bit. Booster completed its ascent, ignited its 33 Raptor engines. We demonstrated a successful hot staging for the second time. Booster completed the boost back burn, didn't quite accomplish the landing burn, and then had a hard splashdown in the Gulf. Meanwhile, ship completely successful after the hot staging. We had a good 6-engine burn of the Raptor vacuum engines and sea level engines. And then we've commanded a number of demonstrations, including the Starlink satellite deploy demo, so the payload door, as well as a prop transfer demonstration. We do still need to do some data review on those, so as we get that data back, we'll be sure to update you on social for how those tests went. We are coming up on our next major milestones, which is an in-space relight of our Raptor engine for the first time, followed by re-entry and then landing in the Indian Ocean.
Incredible.
That's right, guys. We should be just about 40 seconds away, 40 or 50 seconds away, if we do this relight demo. Do want to stress this is not a deorbit burn. In fact, it's actually going to function a little bit opposite of a deorbit burn. We're going to be raising our perigee with this burn for the lowest point of our orbit. This is just to demonstrate that we can relight a Raptor engine on ship while it's gone through a closed
an exciting day so far. Even the crowd here is still so excited. We lifted off from Starbase at 7:25 a.m. Central Time. The Super Heavy booster and ship had a successful separation as well as a good boost back burn and good separation of the hot stage adapter. The Super Heavy booster then completed the landing burn with 13 Raptor engines igniting and slowing down the vehicle perfectly from Mechazilla to catch the Super Heavy booster for the first ever land recovery of the vehicle.
We're not done yet. We still have in about 48 minutes the ship will re-enter. All the flaps that will today, not that could. The ship will re-enter the Earth's atmosphere. Now, as a reminder, one of the main goals of today's test flight is for the ship to make it through the extreme heat of re-entry and to do so in a controlled manner. We learned a lot about this phase during Flight 4 and, as a result, completely reworked the heat shield, but more on all that in just a minute. Now, re-entry is typically a portion of flight where we don't have communications with the spacecraft because re-entering at about 8 kilometers
per second, or about 5 miles
that's
per
exactly
second,
right.
roughly
So coming
orbital
up
velocity.
next around
Now, those
T plus
speeds,
49
the spacecraft
minutes
moving
is
through the
Starship
atmosphere
re-entry.
results in friction
Now,
and
this is
creates a
typically
plasma
a portion
field
of flight
around
where
the
we
vehicle.
don't have
We saw this
communications with spacecraft
in action
because
on
they're
Flight 4
re-entering the
thanks to
Earth's
Starlink,
atmosphere
and
at
wow,
or
it
around
was
orbital
breathtaking.
velocity.
That the
About 5
blanket of
kilometers per second,
plasma
or roughly
ends
5
up distorting
miles per
communication
second.
frequency. So
Now,
it's not
these speeds,
uncommon
the
to
spacecraft
experience
interacting
brief
with the
blackouts of
atmosphere
communication, but hopefully that's not the case
plasma
today.
field around the vehicle. That blanket of plasma distorts communication frequency, so all we're basically left with a brief communication blackout. Now, we might get some telemetry back through a connection to the tracking and data relay satellite system, also known as TDRS. But if the plasma doesn't entirely block it, that connection will be at a very slow data rate and definitely too slow for any video.
But that's why Starship and Starlink are a great partnership. Starship is so big that it will leave a wake or a hole in the plasma field as it flies through the atmosphere. You can think of a wake kind of like when you see a boat going through the ocean, sort of leaves a trail behind it. There's some other great views from Starlink giving us views of Starship's onboard videos. And so we're hoping that the Starlink on board will let us, just like we're seeing these videos now, see through that plasma field by maintaining a continuous communication lock with the satellites on orbit through the wake that Starship leaves behind. Now, this is only the second time that we're testing Starlink during re-entry. So even though we do have these great visuals now, don't be surprised if we manage to get some signal hiccups through. We're still learning about what that wake will actually look like in practice and whether we're able to get that live continuous re-entry data during re-entry.
One of my favorite NASA astronauts, Victor Glover, recently described it.
Yeah, those flaps, Dan, that you see there, that's what's helping.
Starship is in a good altitude for entry, approaching the entry
is the payload. Tell me exactly what's happening right there.
Where we're some good call-outs there, preparing for re-entry for Starship. And again, that's what Dan was mentioning, those flaps on the vehicle, and if you've been watching us for the last few minutes, you could see that the flaps were rotating around and helping orient the vehicle as it prepares for the beginning of re-entry time.
Yeah, exactly. Re-entry will be enabled by that heat shield that you see on the bottom half. That heat shield is made up of 18,000 hexagonal ceramic tiles, and they are designed to insulate the vehicle during atmospheric entry. At that point in time, temperatures can be as high as 26,000 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 1,400 degrees Celsius.
All the way through
the design itself also permits for rapid reuse with no refurbishment between the flights. And fun fact that I think is just incredible in terms of scale, but the heat shield alone on the ship has a total mass of 10.5 tons, which is crazy because these things are really lightweight. They're made out of ceramic. We have a couple of them here. The one that I'm holding is used on flat surfaces, as you go that way, because as it's flat. The one that Jesse has is kind of more what you see there on the side.
Ability to fly,
exactly. And having these different shapes of galaxies and to cover a lot more atmosphere of the vehicle. Again, we need to protect every portion of it, so even
getting data on the aspects like
exceeding the
way faster.
There's 18,000 we want to make sure that we protect. And yeah, these are very, very lightweight.
But when you put 18,000 of them together, they add up to 10.5 tons, which is incredible. Now, we did mention earlier that the heat shield has been completely reworked.
The atmosphere remains on a nominal entry trajectory.
We can start to see that plasma now starting to build up on the side. It's not quite full plasma yet, but we are starting to see that color indicate that the heat is building up on the heat shield.
This is such a cool sight to see because really never really have gotten to see this live before flight. Yeah. And as Kate mentioned, it's getting a little more red as you can see there on your screen. That means that heat is slowing up, but that's exactly what these heat shield towers are there for, to protect against this plasma and continue to be extreme heat that the vehicle is going to see for about the next 10 more minutes.
So the ship will attempt to light the three center Raptor engines, and those are the engines that can gimbal or maneuver or point, and they do that to help flip the ship until the engines point down so that it can land using the Raptor's thrust in the ocean. So that will happen after we get through this re-entry period. Again, now starting to see, we also might start to see the flaps actually a little bit here as the vehicle begins its roll during re-entry. That was one of the main points from Flight 3 was roll control. It didn't work quite as well as we wanted it to. We needed some redundancies, so we added more roll control thrusters, and we'll see those in action as well today.
As you can see,
That was
the beginning of the
three
program,
landings that worked better on
The heat shield tiles doing their work. We talked about it earlier.
Starship has passed to 85 kilometers altitude.
Those heat shield tiles are dissipating as we are re-entering.
as Kate mentioned, flaps are controlling the attitude of this vehicle. Now, I love these views because it looks so calm.
Landing instead of a more
everything is relative, right?
like
So relative to this camera on the ship, it looks so calm and smooth. The vehicle is traveling extremely fast, increasing speed on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. Starship is designed to land on Mars where there are no runways or other humans to help out. So we also want rapid reusability. So
once again,
we're doing propulsive landing instead of a more traditional means like a parachute. And so we will use the engines on this vehicle to help slow the vehicle down for a vertical landing.
Now, entry is going to basically happen in 5 phases. The first is low drag, that lasts for about 3 minutes. Next is high heating, and that beginning when heating increases
You want the vehicle to remain stable. You want those heat shield tiles to
heat rate breakup limit. That lasts for about 10 minutes. We then have high dynamic pressure. Starship will continue to slow down and experience increased aerodynamic loads during that phase, and that will happen before reaching Mach 1, about a minute after. Okay, so that was phase 2 that he just called out, that I was mentioning. After PPA is that dynamic pressure around Mach 1, and that will last about a minute after leaving the hypersonic area, and then we go into subsonic, and then of course landing burn. What an incredible view.
The colors are so amazing, and the colors actually also tell you a little bit about the temperature right now for those of you as well. So I think that's pretty cool that we get this amazing live visual.
Speaking of live visual, the flap, we have more views, more cameras on board the Starship, as Dan mentioned a few minutes ago. We are hoping that all 4 flaps will stay more intact than they did last time. We did make some changes to the design in order to help enable the work on Starship working now.
For our 18,000 hexagonal shields like these,
great news there.
That I have is
Starship is
continuing along the path that we intended it to fly, whereas Shiva has a little
keep track with how fast it's going and how high it is above Earth using the display that is there on the bottom right-hand side of the screen.
Of these tiles around, and they're doing the work to make sure that the structure of the vehicle doesn't carry all that thermal load, so we can recover the vehicles eventually and get to rapid reuse.
Now, we do not plan to recover the spacecraft today, but rapid and reliable reusability is the ultimate goal. So we added some additional, basically made it a lot more robust for the thermal protection.
Just pausing to just take in this incredible new and different view that we're seeing.
Those missing tile tests
a similar view in Flight 3, but again, the vehicle did lose a little bit of its control, attitude control, and this is a very stable view. This is great. This is exactly what we want, and we are hearing that we're getting expected call-outs
on this Starship today. So
Starship is seeing half
even if
acceleration remains on a good
gap in a tile or a tile is broken,
it's incredible
like that,
to look at this photo
and
options.
wonder,
what
we're really trying to do today
frozen.
is
You know, we can see the so I was just going to say
temperatures have stopped
flaps,
increasing.
you lose a lot of your control.
that is
so we
great
didn't land
news.
right on target.
The temperature is
last
no
flight.
longer building.
This time we're trying to really
but I was
nail
saying,
the
like,
target.
we have a little bit of
within
indication there. We can
tens
see
of
that streaking
meters.
occurring, that
And
occurs,
that'll
and
just be a
tells
really
us that
huge
this
step
is
on
indeed
like we're
a true
to
view. So once again,
bringing a
we are
ship
looking
back.
basically through the
Obviously,
plasma that is building
there's a lot
up
of work
through,
before we get there,
around
but
the exterior of the
we
ship.
just caught a booster.
And I still cannot get over that
We're
we are
gonna
getting
start
a
looking real
live
soon at when we
view
can catch a ship.
of re-entry right now, live on your screen. Again, we've said this over and over.
So the
but
view
all
on your
thanks to
left
Starlink,
is as a
we are
helicopter
able
passes
to
by
use
Dan,
Starlink
bound
in
at Starbase.
space, which we're getting this
The
incredible
view on
data.
your left is
And
a
not only
camera that's
just
positioned near the
data
nose
from the
of
sensors, but getting
of the ship,
imagery
looking
of what is
basically
actually
down
happening,
toward
which
the
is
flap.
great, which we've never been
The
able
view
to do
on the right is
live
looking
before.
perpendicular to the flap. Now, So we're just a looking quick, basically bird's eye view onto the flap on the left-hand side, and then a worm's eye view from the side with that view on the right.
T plus about 1 hour and 2 minutes, we should hear
sorry about that, guys.
a
Maverick
call out
just buzzed
for
the
entry
tower.
transonic. That means
he
that the
might be
ship
coming
is going
back, so.
near the speed of sound. And then about a minute after that, we'll hear another call out saying
Now, these
entry
views
subsonic,
brought to
meaning
us by
that the
Starlink,
ship
it's
is going
incredible that we
below
have
the
this
speed of sound.
high-definition
So these are all
capability. In fact,
continued
that view on the
indications
left,
that, Starship is now halfway through the
as
peak
the
heating
ship
phase of
comes back
entry,
down, it
remains
is
on a
getting
good
through
trajectory.
the more dense part of the atmosphere, and that
So
atmosphere
great news
is
there,
helping to
hearing
push
that we're
against the
about
vehicle,
halfway
and
through
those heat shields are protecting the
vehicle
peak heating
during this
phase.
high
Like I
heat
said
period.
earlier, this lasts roughly 10-ish minutes. And we did hear earlier that the flaps have control of the vehicle, so also good news there. You know, it is incredible that we've basically had views the entire time.
Yeah,
Although,
thanks to Starlink.
my memory did black out a little bit after booster catch, so I think we had views. But, you know, all through the coast phase, we had some beautiful views of planet Earth behind the ship as it was in its orbit.
Yeah, and I also do want to point out on your right-hand screen, we've got a more encompassed view of the flap. As we watched in Flight 4, the hinge area was the area where we got a little bit of that burn through. This view, this new camera view on the ship will help us be able to visually see more of what's happening in that area. And again, we have improved our heating tiles, and so hopefully we've protected the hinge a lot better this time. But again, these views are additional to the data that we get on these flight tests that help enable us kind of put the data that we get in the computer to the visuals that we see and try and align those and use that for improvements in the future.
Now, we heard a call out there saying that engine chill has begun. This is an indication that we are starting to flow a little bit of the super cold liquid oxygen through the hardware, through the Raptor engine, specifically the turbo pumps, to help ensure that the hardware is at the right temperature before we give a full push, a full flow of propellant at engine startup. So all of that to say, we are getting closer to the landing burn.
We definitely are, and again, if you look at the bottom right hand of your screen, you can see the altitude that the ship is, and it has been slowly making its way closer and closer to Earth. We're currently at about 63 kilometers from planet Earth, and you'll see that number trend lower and lower as we get closer and continue through this re-entry.
Yeah, this is going to go on for a little, actually a while longer. We have about 10 minutes or so, roughly, before we execute the landing, the ignition for the landing burn, starting with the landing flip. So we're making a controlled re-entry. This is one of the primary objectives for Starship today, is to demonstrate another controlled re-entry, even more controlled than what we saw on Flight 4. And so far, that is looking good.
And I mean, not just camera views, but we've got sensors inside the ship. We've got those sensors. As we start to really get lower, we're going to start seeing the atmosphere's effects start to take place. And that's some intentionally missing tiles. We'll be dropping our speed down closer to the speed of sound. You'll see the flaps start to maneuver. We were able to do a landing burn on Flight 4, which kind of caught all of us off guard. It was pretty incredible after seeing the flaps survive through. wouldn't be great for
we're going to try and do another one on this flight today. We tweaked it a little bit, so we're going to try and splash down at a little bit of a gentler angle this time instead of just kind of hit the water and fall over. And the goal with that is try and keep the ship intact, and then if we're able to then get some additional video of it, again, that's just more data. And
off the
everything we can see, everything we can get extra, like a couple extra seconds or minutes of data coming from the ship after
Starship has
splashdown.
passed through the peak heating phase of flight, approaching maximum entry dynamic pressure.
All right, we're through peak heating. Coming up is basically max Q part 2,
is dropping.
where
we're hitting the thicker part of
we're
the
going to hit
atmosphere
kind
now.
of that part of the curve where
precipitously.
we're still moving really
We're gonna
fast.
start getting
the
to
atmosphere is just dense enough that we're feeling the most pressure. But hopefully we're going to start feeling a little bit less heat now.
Wow, what a light show so far.
Looks like we got more views of each of the flaps on the ship as it's making its way back down to Earth.
External temperatures are starting to come down.
Again.
And we did pass through
This
peak
camera
heating
view
and
is
still
looking right
got
at
really
one of
good
the
views throughout that whole
forward flaps.
period. Typically, during the highest heat on the vehicle,
we're strategically
we
putting
tend to
some
build up a
cameras
lot
around
of
the
plasma,
vehicle
and
to
that's
just look at
typically when we would
the different areas.
lose connection or views of the vehicle.
Looks like we got
But
the
again, with
flaps starting
Starlink,
to
we
come
were able
apart
to
a
get
little.
some live views throughout that entire process there.
Yeah, it does appear that we have a little bit of burn through there. We can see pieces
And
of
we're
the vehicle
coming up.
flying
We'll start
off.
hearing a
What a
couple
show
more
it has
milestones
been.
in
It's been
about
like
4 minutes
watching
or so.
Interstellar or something.
We start getting down to like the transonic, the
This is
subsonic,
wild
when
to see this.
we're
But
starting
the
to
ship
move
is still
closer to
coming
and
down,
beneath the speed of sound.
which is incredible to see.
And
How far can it go?
we're
That is the
getting live
question.
views,
your
we're
eye
getting
on the
live
altitude
data.
in the
We've got a
bottom right-hand
couple
corner. We're at
additional
54
tests on
kilometers
this
right
one
now.
today where we left
Now,
off some
ultimately,
missing tiles
the data
again.
is the payload
to-
today. We've been
to
saying it
test some
multiple
additional
times.
backup layers.
Our teams
we also
are
have,
sitting,
I don't know if we can still
reviewing this
quite
data
see them in
live,
this view, but you may have
where
noticed we
the
had some
hotspots are.
kind of
As you can
silvery
see,
looking
there's an obvious
tiles
hotspot there with the flap
on Starship as
and
well.
learning how we can
And
improve
those
this design. The
were
goal was to get as far through
pretty much standard
this
tiles, but
high,
they were wrapped in
this
aluminum.
high heat
And it was a
re-entry
pretty
as possible.
simplistic,
Ideally, we'd love to make it all the way down
straightforward
and
one where
perform that,
aluminum starts
that
to melt
landing, burn,
at
and flip maneuver.
roughly the
but we
same
may not get
temperature
that far
where
today.
steel
We will
starts
see.
to lose its strength, not
Again, this
necessarily
is a
melt.
test,
and
and
so
we
if
are gathering as
if
much
we see
data
stuff
as
melting,
possible,
we
visual
know
data as well, which we can see here. We are
we
getting
know
a
what
lot
our
of
steel's gonna be
debris
exposed
covering
to,
the
but,
camera on your screen, but we can still see some of
59
those
minutes since
sparks
launch
and
should be
flames
coming
from
up
that high
on-
heat as
on
ship
transonic
is
and
making its
everything
way
just
back
about
down
3
to Earth.
minutes.
Ship now at 50 kilometers and closing.
Now the views here,
The
we
good news
have
is we
coverage
still
of
got-
all
looks
4
like that
flaps.
camera lens just cracked.
We can see,
It's safe to say
so for
ship's
those
getting a
that
little
perhaps
beat
didn't
up, but that's
catch
to be
a
expected
glimpse
on
of
a
the
test
vehicle
flight.
before
We are still
liftoff, there are
learning
2 flaps
how to
at the
improve the
forward
ship
end
for total
and 2
survival
flaps
and
at the
recovery
aft
of
end.
the high heat
The larger
re-entry.
camera view
I'm
that is
honestly
there on
impressed
the
that we're
right-hand
still
side of your
getting
screen,
this
that
live
is a
view
view of one of the aft
how
end
much
or the
debris is
bottom
coming off of
end
this flap right
flaps.
now.
We can start to see some heat
fact that
buildup
we've got
and
it is
peeking
good
through
news.
on one of the flaps there in the top left-hand corner of your screen.
I may have jinxed it. I apologize. Look at that. It's back.
We are still going.
And the teams here
Once again, Starship
at
now
SpaceX
at
are
T+1 hour
excited, as you can tell
and
by
9
the
seconds
cheering
into
behind
its
us.
flight today,
There's still
re-entering
a
the
sizable
Earth's
crowd
atmosphere,
here at Mission Control Center
currently about
platform.
45 kilometers above the surface of
Splashdown is
the Earth,
expected
now
in just
44.
about 4 minutes from
We
now.
are targeting a soft splashdown in the Indian Ocean,
We're still moving.
about
still have live
northwest-ish
views. Starlink is
of
doing incredible
Australia,
maximum entry
and
dynamic
we are
pressure.
attempting to,
External
as we did on
temperatures are
Flight
dropping.
4, make a perform a
Okay,
flip
good news,
maneuver
those
as well
external
as a
pressures
Starship is
are
at maximum
dropping.
entry
The question
dynamic
is,
pressure, remains
how
on a good
much
trajectory.
the ship is left.
All right, so
Can't
that
really
is
tell. We
great
can
news
still
there.
see, some of
Like
that
Dan said
particulate
earlier,
coming
this is
off.
basically max Q
And
part
unfortunately,
2.
we do have a
So
cracked
this is
camera
the
lens.
greatest amount
but for
of,
any photographers out
of
there
aerodynamic
and,
loads that the vehicle
videographers,
will experience
we know
during
that's-
its flight.
that's
It's
part of the
coming
gig
back through the
sometimes.
Earth's
Yeah, and
atmosphere.
you can see that the
it
speed
was
is rapidly
above
slowing
the Earth's
down. That's
atmosphere in
actually really
space
great
where there
news
was
for
no
us.
friction. We can
We
obviously
want
see
the vehicle to be slowing
heat
down
as a
before
evidence
it
of that
splashes down
friction
into the
buildup.
ocean.
The atmosphere is
That'll help
actually
set us
helping
up
to
for that
slow the
flip
vehicle
maneuver
down.
and
If you're watching the telemetry in the bottom right-hand side, right-hand corner of your screen, you can see that speed decelerating rapidly.
Altitude flight tests like serial number 8. Oh, more views. I should say more light coming through the view.
Now the four flaps on the ship help steer the vehicle, and one of the main objectives for the ship today is to demonstrate controlled re-entry during this phase of flight, this re-entry phase.
If the ship is still around, we will bring it
Vehicle
back
has
to you.
passed
Yeah, we
maximum dynamic
have
pressure.
6 engines on ship, but we only need 3 of them, the 3 sea-level engines.
The moment in which
We
the
will have
vehicle
that flip
experiences
maneuver
the greatest
happen
amount of
very close to
aerodynamic
touching down
pressure.
for splashdown. We'll do that flip
Speed
maneuver,
still dropping.
ignite
We're
those
now at
engines,
37
slow the
kilometers
vehicle
above
down
the ocean.
immediately, and then hopefully have
Just like
a
Flight 3,
what we
are
call a
targeting
soft splash.
splashdown in
What
the
we call
water
a soft
in the Indian
splashdown
Ocean.
in the water. It's probably going to feel a little bit harder on the top of the surface of the water, but it'll look pretty gentle.
And like we said earlier, we hope to have some more views, even of that phase of the flight. So fingers crossed that we can we can bring those to you. We are hoping to splash down softer than we did last time on Flight 4. Right now, Starship continuing to make its descent back to our planet.
Tells us the ship is still alive.
Yes, and
For now.
All right, great news there. That tells us that the vehicle is traveling twice the speed of sound. So we will then, the next call out that we'll hear is that it is, traveling about the speed of sound, and then we will hear a call out that it is.
Sounds like the vehicle's
that will be the call out that
traveling,
it is transonic, and then we will hear
Mach 2,
another
which
call
is,
out saying that it is subsonic, meaning going
looks like
slower
we
than the speed of sound.
Starship is transonic.
There it is. So at this,
I thought maybe it might clear up. It is a little bit.
So at this point in time, we say transonic because certain parts of the vehicle, like the flap that you see on your screen, might be experiencing airflow faster than the speed of sound.
It's probably potentially hanging on
Other parts of the ship may be experiencing airflow,
Starship
but
is
it's
in
still
the
going, and that is
subsonic belly
excellent
flop.
news.
That deceleration is
All right, so
looking
now the
incredible.
entire
We're about
vehicle
to go
is
under
traveling
1,000
slower than the speed of sound, so subsonic. And the crowd here at Mission Control Hawthorne also getting excited, just like us. We're awaiting the water landing. We are going to reignite the 3 engines to perform that flip maneuver, and we're basically
subsonic. They're telling us it's
about a minute and a half
below the speed of
away
sound.
from the landing flip.
Yeah, the crowd's getting excited here as we get closer and closer to splashdown. Again, just about a minute away from the expected splashdown, so we should see a lot happening coming up here shortly.
This is a nail biter.
We're currently having a view of one of the flaps,
we can't see
and it is a little bit dark on your screen, but hopefully we'll get some good views of the ship as it makes that flip maneuver and touchdown for splashdown.
All this data is incredibly important. Even if
we
it breaks up right now.
We saw that speed drop like a rock, so we're doing a belly flip right now, or a belly flop right now. That's kind of, if you saw the high altitude campaign, that's the unique thing about how Starship comes back. So we've let off pretty much all of the speed we're going to. We're essentially at terminal velocity.
Starship is at 5 kilometers altitude, remains on target.
Keep an eye on the bottom right corner of your screen.
Five to go, coming up soon, landing burn.
They will gimbal or angle so that the ship flips itself back up vertical and hopefully lands in a vertical position.
And the crowd is very excited to get this view of that flap still maneuvering.
Starship is on target, 5 kilometers approaching landing burn startup.
So keep an eye on the bottom right-hand side of your screen as well. That will be the indicator when the Raptor engines
very
ignite.
Close to splashdown.
These fireflies are such a good sign of life right now.
Landing burn startup.
I wish we could see more, but we'll take it.
Reflection of that landing burn.
Starship is landed.
An incredible view. I think it is safe to say we have a ship in the water.
Touchdown!
That is a live view from the
Starship is in landing burn.
What an incredible end to Starship's journey. A live view from a buoy that we had out at the landing zone.
Was commanded.
an incredible view of ship landing just about on target as they were calling out.
That was amazing, and we were not intending to recover any of the ship's hardware, so that was the best ending that we could have hoped for.
The ship did its landing burn. It sounded like
landing burn
got
shutdown.
2 engines. And there's the final call for landing burn shutdown.
Man.
But we'll go back through all the data, but we
I
did
don't think
get
we're going to be able to
confirmation
get
that a landing
ton
burn
of extra
took place.
video of the
Starship
heat shield, but
made it through
we hit the
re-entry
target. We hit the
and did its
target.
first ever landing burn.
Yeah. I mean, you know we hit
From
the
South
target
Texas
because
to the other side of the earth.
we had these
Starship was
buoys
in the
placed in
water.
a pretty specific spot, so wow.
What a day. What a day, guys.
What a day. I feel like that's what I get to say. What a day.
We got views pretty much.
I mean, everything started off
Analysis
today
said it could do
with
it.
that
We weren't
launch.
sure if it was going to be able to happen.
We were able to lift off towards
we
the
were
end of
able
our
to
window,
get signal.
7:25
Started to get some
a.m.
debris on the
Central
cameras
Time.
and everything.
33 out of 33 Raptors on the way uphill. Successful hot stage. Booster came back. We watched it come down
today,
right behind us. Watched it get caught.
It feels like a lifetime.
And that broke my brain for a while. I'm really happy we had coast for a bit. But that's first ever booster catch, major step on the way to rapid reusability. And ship just gave us one heck of a show, making it through a controlled re-entry this time. Flaps intact, made it down to the water.
After a launch into space. So,
hey, starships were meant to fly.